All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. So today, I'm going to be reacting to or giving my commentary on this guy. I can't remember his name, but his name will be in the description. He has a pretty big YouTube channel. He talks about hip hop. And one of the things that I seen from another streamer actually, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna react to that myself because I like what he was saying. And there's certain things I disagree with, and I like to find videos like that. So, he's talking about Kendrick Lamar, and he's saying that Kendrick is the master manipulator in this whole situation. And I want to see what he has to say, and maybe give him some pushback, or maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, this is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're not subscribed here, or if you're new here, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to subscribe, or if you haven't decided, please let me earn your subscription. Also, to all the beautiful single ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. They call me the hidden gem. If you want to donate to the channel, you can Cash App right on the screen. If you don't have money, or if you don't want to donate and you say, nigga, I ain't giving you shit, I'm just watching your content, that's free. As long as you here, I'm cool. I was watching analytics too. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of subscribers, or a lot of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So, maybe I'll work for you one day and you will subscribe. All right, so let's get to it, man. No more talking. You know what I'm saying? And all that good stuff. Hey, also, let me know where you from too, man. I really appreciate to see where people from. I like to read that. All right, here we go. So here it is. Track 7, Kendrick Lamar, low key a villain. So let's see what he got to say. Let's go.
Who's the real villain and manipulator of this whole story? I'm sorry. You're going to be mad at me. This doesn't mean he didn't win the battle. He most definitely won. But at what cost? I alluded to this in the video, but if I had to do it over, I'd probably spend more time to really look at how dark and twisted and diabolical the entire strategy that Kendrick Lamar had during this beef was.
Okay, maybe you're not saying this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Whether how dark it is, but that has nothing to do with manipulation. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you're not saying that, but I'm saying that has nothing to do with manipulation. But let's keep it going.
Massively, but also disturbingly, he played this out in comparison to Drake, the person we like envision as the master manipulator, but has completely been exposed to be mostly a dumb jock. Like, as happy as I was and still am to see Kendrick take this L, I do want people to see just how well Kendrick manipulated us into celebrating his painful, inhumane destruction and public embarrassment of another human being.
Okay, so I definitely got to hear how you spin that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking that the manipulator in this would be Drake. He's been manipulating the fans for so long that when someone comes and exposes him, I don't think that the person that's doing the exposing is the manipulator. How can he be the manipulator if he's exposing the other guy? So basically, when you're saying manipulation, you're saying that he is making us believe something that is totally not true or semi-true when it comes to his opponent, because that's what manipulation is. You know what I'm saying? You manipulate them to believe, or you're saying his manipulation is more on the lines of his diabolicalness. And we accepted that? Is that the type of manipulation you're saying? Because I need to hear how you spin this
in the most diabolical way possible. First, I want to point out, again, from my experience in the Potty Mouth podcast, that it needs to be understood that Kendrick attacking Drake at the moment he did was not by accident. The Drake of the last few years is at its lowest point as an artist, just as hip hop is at its lowest point as a genre. Drake was.
Okay, so again, I don't know if you're saying that was a calculated move, or Kendrick waited until the right moment. But How would you know if that was going to happen? I mean, far as I can see, even though Drake is at his lowest point, he still probably is the most highest selling outside of Eminem, though. So how did Kendrick gauge that he's at his lowest point when he's still continuously growing as an artist? You understand what I'm saying? But let's keep it going.
The biggest rapper in the game, and the game was stale and uninspiring and less popular and powerful. So Drake was all of those things as well. His last few albums hadn't been great. His beefs with Kanye and Meg Thee Stallion over the last couple of years, along with other random women he kept picking fights with, had people looking at him different and kind of wanting him to go away. His awful personality and behavior,
And all this I can agree with. I can agree with all what you're saying now. Keep going.
Made him countless enemies. And that's not to mention that we're only 5 years away from the lines, "You are hiding a child." Like, that's still sticking in people's core memories about Drake. So like, this is the equivalent of beating Jordan in the playoffs when he was with the Wizards. People wanted Drake to lose and go.
I don't really know that. I don't really know how to feel about that comparison. So basically you're saying Kendrick beating Drake now. So you're basically saying Drake is the GOAT and Kendrick beating him at this point. And it's like the GOAT playing on the Wizards. I'm figuring that that's what you're saying. And if you are saying that, I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I would more likely say that he's more LeBron than, because his last couple of years, like Jordan played for the Wizards, what? I believe 1 year or 2 years or something like that. But Drake has been on a downward spiral, even though he's still at the top, for about 5-6 years. So he would probably be LeBron. That's what I would say if I were comparing basketball players. I wouldn't compare him to Jordan. Unless, I don't know if you're saying that, but let's keep it going. I'm going to run it back just a little bit so I'll get some more context.
Is at its lowest point as an artist, just as hip hop is at its lowest point as a genre. Drake was the biggest rapper in the game, and the game was stale and uninspiring and less popular and powerful. So Drake was all of those things as well. His last few albums hadn't been great. His beefs with Kanye.
So you definitely saying that Drake was Jordan. So let's go.
And Meg Thee Stallion over the last couple of years, along with other random women he kept picking fights with, had people looking at him different and kind of wanting him to go away. His awful personality and behavior made him countless enemies. And that's not to mention that we're only 5 years away from the lines, "You are hiding a child." Like, that's still sticking in people's core memories about Drake. So like, this is the equivalent of beating Jordan in the playoffs when he was with the Wizards. People wanted.
Yeah, so you're definitely saying that Drake was Jordan and he was at his lowest point. You know what I'm saying? You're basically saying he was Jordan. So you're basically saying Drake is the greatest player, or greatest artist, rapper of all time, if you're comparing him to Jordan. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm taking it. Maybe you can explain your way out of that, but I don't know about that one. Sales wise, yeah, but outside of that, nah.
Drake to lose and go away, and Kendrick knew that this was the moment to make that happen. And I again theorize and would die on the hill that Kendrick has hated Drake, rightfully so, for a long time. I've seen a couple of.
Okay, so now you're talking out both sides of your neck. I understand how the trickery is with people with wording. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Rightfully so. So you're saying, well, he hates him. And I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I guess that's just how you word it. But to me, that sounds like you're trying to, how would I say this? You're trying to make sure you don't offend people by saying that. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you stand on the right side of history. You're saying, well, I did say that. It's like my cousin used to do that shit all the time. Like, don't talk to me like that, dog. I'm not stupid. I know exactly what the double talk is. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what you're doing. You want to be able to say, well, I said this and that. You want to be able to straddle the fence. So if it's, well, I was right about both. I was right. It's like saying, well, man, one day somebody going to steal $1 from you or whatever. and then somebody steal $1 from you. Like, see, I told you to keep your wallet in your pocket because somebody stole $1 from you. It's like, I understand that whole talk, man. I'm saying I get it, but let's keep it going.
People say that, you know, Kendrick recorded all these songs in a short period of time, whatever else, and that this was all spontaneous and he didn't have them things ready. And I just don't believe that shit. Kendrick clearly had these songs ready before.
All right, so I'm gonna speak to that. You're saying that you don't believe that Kendrick Lamar didn't write these songs, right? This what I want y'all to understand, right? This has really nothing to do with this guy here, but Kendrick Lamar, all he do is music, rap, that's it. He hasn't done anything for a long time. So you could say maybe he did these a while ago. You could say that, but I would say that if somebody says that Kendrick Lamar has done this recently, I would agree. Whether he did it in a whole setting or not is because, number one, this is what he does for a living. He don't do nothing else. At least we don't hear about him doing it. He ain't no truck driver or no shit like that. So his mind is focused. Plus, he's an outlier. He's an enigma. Some of these artists write music very fast because that's what their brain works like that. It just constantly goes. They don't get writer's block because it just goes. They're built it. And when you're an artist, like Dr. Dre said Kendrick Lamar is, he's a complete artist. Eminem said he put him in the studio and he wrote Love Game right there. Right there, he wrote it. And I'm going to do a reaction to that. He wrote Love Game right there. So when people say stuff like this about Kendrick, and I know he probably not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe that. I believe that whatever someone says, if it's someone's credible, like Schoolboy Q or Absol, if they're credible and they say, oh, he wrote that right there, I'm going to believe that. Because I know that that's what he does. Joe Buttons used to write a rap right there before he freestyled. He literally wrote a rap right there and then freestyled the whole rap. So if Joe could do it, come on, man. Joe does other stuff. Kendrick is an artist that just constantly goes. So let's keep it going, man. Let me run it back a little bit, just a little bit.
And that this was all spontaneous and he didn't have them things ready. And I just don't believe that shit. Kendrick clearly had these songs ready beforehand. They were at least written, prepared, if not partially recorded. I believe outright, though, Not Like Us, the first two verses definitely existed well before that song dropped. In the last verse.
Okay, so all right, so I gotta debunk that. Okay, so you're saying that you believe that Not Like Us was recorded way before, right? The A minor bar, first of all, if Drake would have went a different way, let's just say this before I even get to the A minor bar. If Drake would have went a different way, you saying that he wouldn't have changed these verses or whatever. But the reason why I'm saying that was written right away is because there's several things in the song that directly goes against Family Matters. Day free, A minor. It's all the same. He's seen it. He responded to it. Plus, you also got to understand that they were both talking about Michael Jackson. So how did he know Drake was going to talk about Michael Jackson, and how did Kendrick know Drake was going to talk about Michael Jackson, and Drake knew Kendrick was going to talk about Michael Jackson? How? That's how you know that this stuff was documented right away, because they kept bringing up Mike. Now, if you want to say, well, he could have changed the part at the end of it, and then Drake did something about Tupac. What he did about Tupac. He brought up Tupac when he did the tailor-made freestyle. That was in the first verse. You know what I'm saying? He said a bunch of different things. The candidate telling what's the name to come back, the Serena bar, all of those joints. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, his people considered them predators. Them predators moving flocks. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff, bro. So for you to say that this first and second verse was already written, no. He did that right after Family Matters. I totally believe that Kendrick Lamar wrote that whole song right after Family Matters. That's what I believe.
My podcast, there needs to be understood that Kendrick attacking Drake at the moment he did was not by accident. The Drake of the last few years is at its lowest point as an artist, just as hip hop is at its lowest point as a genre. Drake was the biggest rapper in the game, and the game was stale and uninspiring and less popular and powerful. So Drake was all of those things as well. His last few albums.
And I want to speak on that real quick before I go any further. What are we saying stale as in what? Because you're saying Drake, you're saying that the game was stale and uninspiring, right? I couldn't agree to disagree with that, because there were artists out there, just people wasn't looking for them. There was a lot of artists who dropped good projects and good albums. It just, people just was, because you must be speaking from the level of hits and at the top. You ain't speaking from the level of the Ransoms and the Stove Gods and you ain't speaking from that. Benny and Griselda and all of them. You ain't speaking from that. You speaking from the level of successful, the top rappers. You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing that's what you're doing, but let's go.
Hadn't been great. His beefs with Kanye and Meg Thee Stallion over the last couple of years, along with other random women he kept picking fights with, had people looking at him different and kind of wanting him to go away. His awful personality and behavior made him countless enemies, and that's not to mention that we're only 5 years away from the lines, "You are hiding a child." Like, that's still sticking in people's core memories about Drake. So like, this is the equivalent of beating Jordan in the playoffs when he was with the Wizards. People wanted Drake to lose and go away, and Kendrick knew that this was the moment to make that happen. And I again theorize and would die on the hill that Kendrick has hated Drake, rightfully so, for a long time. I've seen a couple of people say that,
I don't think, that's another thing too. I don't think Kendrick hated Drake. I think Kendrick hated what Drake stood for. I don't think he personally hated Drake. Maybe that's not what you're saying, but I'm saying I don't think he personally hated Drake.
Kendrick recorded all these songs in a short period of time, whatever else, and that this was all spontaneous and he didn't have them things ready. And I just don't believe that shit. Kendrick clearly had these songs ready beforehand. They were at least written, prepared, if not partially recorded. I believe outright, though, not like us, the first two verses definitely existed well before that song dropped, and the last verse was probably written the day it came out. And I believe this not just because.
Okay, I need to understand that. I need to hear what you got to say about that. Let's go.
It's hard to believe that much music can be made so well and so well thought out so quickly, but because the music is all thematically resonant and connected to build a narrative against Drake that people were going to easily accept and run with without recognizing how they're being influenced by it. The reason.
Okay, so now that's double talk right there. Okay. So number one, right? This is all just a theory to you. You didn't present any evidence of how that song wasn't written. You just basically said a bunch of shit to make it seem like that you are how would I say this? You just said a bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? To make it, to kind of like code it to you being right. But you haven't said anything that I would say, okay, you're right about that. All this was just a theory or a feeling from you. That's it. You just explained your feelings about it. You didn't say, well, the reason why I know is because this bar didn't connect to this bar, and you could tell that this will. And then what you said was, well, I just don't believe that somebody can make that much great music in that short period of time. Why is that? Why? Slaughterhouse did a whole album in 9 days. A whole album. They did a whole album, I believe it was 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Some people can do that. Some people can do that. So for you to say that, I just think that you're saying it, this is how you feel. It's not, there's no proof of that. You know what I'm saying? So obviously at this point you have to go off your feelings because you can't prove it. But at the same time, you can kind of like do a little bit of research and say, well, this and this and this and this and this and this. It was too many things that directly connected to Family Matters for you to say that he didn't do that song right away. That's all I'm saying. You know, and on top of that, Mustard on the record saying he sent in. He didn't tell him. He didn't say that he sent in a beat months ago. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to say, well, that song could have been written to a different beat. We don't know that. We just know that what Mustard said. Mustard said that he sent in the beat, and the song got same thing with Like That. Sent him like he said he sent it, and he sent it right back. Like what then? August they said like 10 minutes or 2 minutes or some shit like that. So I don't know, man. I disagree with that. Let me run it back just a little bit. Let's go.
That line is one of the strongest lines in the battle, that Kendrick speaks for the culture, and he does. But this is also a call to action, a signal word to tell the audience their own feelings. It's not that people didn't already feel that.
Get the fuck out of it. You literally just said a little while ago in your joint, you said that people hated Drake. So it's a call to action. That's not me manipulating somebody. Obviously, he probably talked to people, they feel the same way about him. I don't like this nigga. So I don't get it. I don't get if you saying that's a call to action, like, well, he's telling you how you should feel. No, it's not that he's telling you how you should feel. People feel that way. You literally admitted to it. And you probably feel that way too, because you showed a picture of Drake with blackface. So did he manipulate you to put that picture up? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying you probably feel that way too. Everybody probably feels this way. It's not that he manipulated you and said, I'm with the culture feeling. Now look, so you should have said, what should he have said? You know what I'm saying? Should he have said, this is what the culture's feeling? That's what he should have said. Either way, either way he had twisted, you would have said that. I don't know, man.
And run with without recognizing how they're being influenced by it. The reason I named my video I'm What the Culture Feeling is because I recognize that line as one of the strongest lines in the battle, that Kendrick speaks for the culture, and he does. But this is also a call to action, a signal word to tell the audience their own feelings. It's not that people didn't already feel that about Drake, because a lot of people did, but by presenting it through such a well-designed packaging, he made more people that didn't realize that maybe they were feeling that, clarify that into a strong emotion.
So that's not manipulation. That's not manipulating someone. That's definitely not manipulation. You literally, this is what I mean. The double talk gotta chill, bro. You talking one way and talking another way. You trying to hit us with these blanket statements and then all of a sudden reveal it, then recover it again, reveal it, then cover it again. That's what you're doing. That's not for him to be, he's not being manipulative. If someone feels a certain way, you're not manipulating them. They feel the same way. Maybe they're shy about it. You manipulate their feelings out of them. Manipulation is trickery. You know what I'm saying? Make them do something that they wouldn't do. That's manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you were saying persuasion. Maybe I don't know. I'm just saying, for me, I totally disagree with that. You can't tell me I'm manipulating somebody if they had the same feelings as me, because I acknowledged it and they all of a sudden it hit them and they acknowledged it too. You can't say, oh shit, damn bro, you acknowledged that? I feel the same way. You manipulated me. Like, no, I'm not rolling with that one, bro. Nah, I ain't rolling with that.
For the culture, and he does. But this is also a call to action, a signal word to tell the audience their own feelings. It's not that people didn't already feel that about Drake, because a lot of people did, but by presenting it through such a well-designed packaging, he made more people that didn't realize that maybe they were feeling that, clarify that into a strong emotion. And he does this.
Get the fuck out of here, yo. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get that shit the fuck out of here. You ain't gonna sit here and tell me that because he presented it in a different way that he manipulated everybody to feel that way, if they already felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Manipulation would be, this person don't feel like this, so I'm gonna manipulate them to feel that way. That's manipulation. Presenting them with a package that they don't know what's in it, and you telling them, well, look, what's in that box? You gonna really love it. I'm telling you. Like, what is it? I don't know. I'm telling you, you gonna love it. You gonna love what's in that box. It's the culture in there. And they open it up and be like, I normally don't like this, but yeah, that's manipulation, bro. You're using that wrongly, in my opinion. You're using it wrong. You saying that he's a manipulator, but what are we saying? Like, these people feel the same way. You acting as if like you saying it's a call to action, more of like a mob, the mob mentality. Whereas one person do something and then they see 2 people do it and then 10 people do it, then 100 people do it. It's like, that's what you're trying to say. That's, to me, that's not what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's going on here. And even if it was a call to action, right? For it has to be people who feel the same way. So that's not manipulation. If these people feel that way, you can't say that they were manipulated. If they feel that way, and if they want to do the same thing you're doing, you can't say I manipulated. Well, he manipulated me. Did you want to do it? Yeah. But if he manipulated you, why did you do it? Because I wanted to do it. It's like, I don't know. Let's go.
Feeling that, clarify that into a strong emotion. And he does this in other songs throughout the beef. When he says, tell the people what they want, Drake, they're not slow, or your little memes is losing steam.
Okay. Tell the people what they want, they're not slow. So basically what he's saying is, there's no evidence of you lying on me and you're making up shit. So since you're making up shit, I'm telling you, you could tell the people whatever. They're not slow, because the people are going to figure it out, especially in the internet age. I don't understand why you don't understand that bar. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that part. For you to say that that's a part of manipulating the masses or the fans of his fans by basically pointing out that they're not slow. Well, maybe he really feels as though they're not slow. And number 2, maybe they're really not slow. It's nothing to do with manipulating them. So he would say what he has said. How could he have put that bar? If someone's lying on you and you say, man, you could tell these fans whatever you want, bro. They ain't slow. They know you lying. That's me manipulating a nigga. If I tell them that they're not slow and they say, what if I say, you know what? That's not me manipulating these niggas. If I say, you know what? Tell the fans what they want. You know what I'm saying? They not slow, but even if they is slow, they could probably figure it out. Like, to me, that's manipulation if you're going that far. But I don't know. I just think that what he's saying is kind of wild to me. Like, I don't know. Let's go.
Also a call to action, a signal word to tell the audience their own feelings. It's not that people didn't already feel that about Drake, because a lot of people did, but by presenting it through such a well-designed packaging, he made more people that didn't realize that maybe they were feeling that, clarify that into a strong emotion. And he does this in other songs throughout the beef.
But even with that, how do you know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know? How do you know this? Are you a psych doctor, or you have the fucking, I don't know. You have everything to everybody, all the culture feeling people against Drake. How do you know that? How do you know he manipulated all these people? So all these people are actually, they don't really feel that way. They're just under the influence right now. Maybe later on they'll wake up. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you saying? He pulled it out of them? Like, what are you saying?
He says, tell the people what they want, Drake, they're not slow, or your little memes is losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. Y'all need a new route.
But that's true though. That's not him. This is exactly what Drake does. How is that him manipulating people when that's exactly what Drake does? That's exactly, if to me, if he manipulated the people, he would have said something on the lines of him lying about Drake. You know what I'm saying? But this is exactly saying that you're like basically saying like, bro, you know what? No matter what you do to me, that shit is dead, bro. That's not manipulation. That's battle 101. That's what people do in battles. You know what I'm saying? And then you say, well, your little memes are losing steam. They figured you out. Yeah, people did figure Drake out. They did. He constantly does the same thing. He's still doing it to this day. That's why it doesn't, all of those Instagram posts and all that shit doesn't resonate with people.
Oh, that boy is slick. Like I think the term is semiotics, the just linguistic programming that happens in these songs until you realize they're happening. You're just vibing, and it's fucking scary.
No
Once upon a time, all of us
tell me that you think Kendrick Lamar has programmed people to go to basically go after Drake off of the shit that Drake actually does. Yo, come on, bro. There's no way in the world, bro. There's no way, bro. There's no way. There's no way. That's what Drake does. You can't say that Drake, he programmed it into people. Like, oh, okay, well, people didn't notice it, and now they notice it. So that's a Kendrick programming. This is battle. Anything that Kendrick says that's totally goes against Drake, people are going to research it. They're going to look it up. That's exactly what it is. But for you to go as far as saying he manipulated people to do it, I don't think so.
Was in change. Now he's still doubling down, calling us some slaves. Us convincing y'all need a new route. Oh, that boy is slick. Like I think the term is semiotics, the just linguistic programming that happens in these songs until you realize they're happening. You're just vibing, and it's fucking scary. Once upon a time, all of us was in change. Now he's still doubling down, calling us some slaves. Us.
Well, Drake did say you're always rapping like you're trying to get the slaves freed. He didn't say you were always rapping like you're trying to be freed as a slave. So he included everybody and he just rebutted it. That's all that was. He didn't try to make people feel a certain way. Drake started it. People felt that way either way. So even if Kendrick didn't even rebuttal to that, people probably was going to say something about that bar, because they probably feel that way. And he said, once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubling down, calling us some slaves. Did he not call everybody slaves? I don't understand how you saying that that's manipulation, because this is exactly what happened. It wasn't like it didn't happen and then he manipulated some other shit there.
They not like us. And it's like white people at the concert dressed in they not like us. It's like, who is they to y'all? That's how powerful the shit was.
But that's still not manipulation. I don't get it. And you saying white people saying they not like us. This song obviously isn't about slavery. You know what I'm saying? The song is about Drake and his camp being not like us. So he's saying, let's be clear here. Most of the song is about the PDF and the fakeness and the whatever you want to call it. Anything that's negative on that space, that's what that song is mostly about. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying that we're not like that. That's what he's saying. That's how I took it. When he said they're not like us, they're not like us. Like, I don't know.
And of course, we already know the timing of the release of the songs is something straight out of Death Note. To release 616 in the morning and then meet the Grams that same night is just plain evil. All I kept seeing.
I don't understand, how is that evil, though? I don't know if you're linking this to some anime shit. I don't know. But how is that evil? How is it evil for him to do that? And it wasn't that he released it the same night on purpose. Drake dropped something and he dropped something. In 616, he was talking about telling Drake, I believe that I say this to the day I go. He warned Drake and twice. In 616, he even doubled down and warned him even more because he knew it was coming. This song that I'm about to drop, yeah, it's going to end you. And I'm telling you now, you ever thought that OVO might be working for me? Fake bully, I hate bullies. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, like, I know some shit, bro. So you better chill. And on top of that, I know that you're about to drop Family Matters, and I heard it already, most likely. And I'm waiting for you to drop it so then I can drop this. Family Matters, Meet the Grams. I don't understand how you would say that wasn't written. It had to be written. You know what I'm saying? Because it had to be written recently. And on top of that, if he inserted the other verse of the daughter, it had to be written because that was a thing that was just going around. Was the song written all together? We don't know. But I do know that if he wrote 616 in LA, most likely Kendrick Lamar did all of those joints like everybody said he did. He got all day. He ain't doing nothing. That's all I'm saying.
In my head was the moment in Death Note. Like, shout out to people that watch Death Note. If you don't watch anime, you should still watch Death Note. You'll actually like it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Man, fuck y'all. Y'all don't watch anime.
Now that's manipulation. That right there, what you just did. That right there is manipulation. Right there. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you gonna point that out. That right there was manipulation. What you just did.
Yeah, and if you did, and most of y'all already watched this shit. Whatever. I'm just start this part over. Shit. But all I kept seeing in my head was the moment in Death Note toward the end when Light finally killed L and he ran to hold him in his arms as he took his last breath and made sure to smile in his face before he died. That's the type of evil that we're dealing with Kendrick Lamar. That man is not to be trusted from this point on. Kendrick, I love your music, but I'm scared of you as a person now. He wrote a letter to this man's son. Adonis is like 7. He's gonna hear this one day. When he gets to like 7th grade, people are gonna joan him and be like, "Dear Adonis." Now, because Drake is genuinely awful, he's a bad guy that we could all celebrate falling, we give it a pass. Drake really did have it coming. He really, really did. But there's a reason why in medieval times when like executioners would, cut off someone's head, the executioner always wore a mask because you can't look at someone like the same after you know that they're publicly killing people. And that's how I look at Kendrick now. Speaking of looking villains in the face, my homie Foreign Man in a Foreign Land recently filmed a reality show with 6 other well-known YouTubers.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna link to his channel to the page. I'll make sure y'all go watch it. He has a really good channel, actually. He talks about hip hop. He has almost 1 million subscribers. And yeah, he's doing this thing over there, man. Yeah, man. That was a good video. Good video. I like to go back and, back and forth with people. Not necessarily back and forth with people. It's like I'm shadow boxing because he ain't here. But I like to give my commentary on some of these videos, man. I think it's very important that we have that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think Kendrick manipulated anybody. I think people just felt that way, and he said it, and people agreed. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Manipulation to me would be what you said. Yeah, you need to go watch it. If you haven't seen it, you'll love it. That's manipulation. That's manipulation. But other than that, nah, I don't get that. But as far as this whole thing with Kendrick and Drake, I think this is very fascinating, and it's not gonna stop. And I've seen people talking like, "Oh, you guys are making all these Drake videos and Kendrick videos. Don't you have something else to talk about?" This is what people asking for, man. You know what I'm saying? People like people talking about it. Like, why does it matter to you? Like, just don't watch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see people talking about Drake or Kendrick, just scroll past it. Like, I don't know, people get so upset. Like, I don't know, sometimes I think people, they want to be seen in the comments, or they want to be shouted out, or they want to be seen. It's like, you see somebody doing good, and you get in your feelings about them doing good off of something, and you jump in the comments and say something negative. It's like, me personally, I laugh at it. Because I just think it's funny that you would take your time out the day to actually type that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't believe, yeah. Like, come on, dog. Like, think about it before you send that joint, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you really feel that way, keep that shit to yourself. Like, I'll be watching some videos and I'm like, you know, if I ain't gonna react to it, there's no point in me jumping in the comments and saying something all crazy. Like, and I don't think people always do that because I actually got some good followers over here. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen it on other people's pages. But either way, man, look, this is a 6 o'clock show. So I'll be back tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be on the lookout, man. Thank y'all for everything, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for all the donations, all the super chats. Y'all really changed my life, man. I'm really serious. Like, I was working and I'm almost to the point where I could do this. And I'm gonna give myself a little bit more time, but this is what I want to do. And y'all provided that for me. Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. It's an honor to do these videos for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I truly, truly love you guys from the bottom of my heart, man. I don't know y'all, but I love y'all. And as long as you ain't no PDF and all that other shit, then you already know time. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, y'all have a good night, man. See y'all.